Hello friends, welcome to Acharya 90 FM, your own radio. In our guest interview today, we have invited Aanchal Shetty madam. Aanchal ma'am, welcome to our Acharya 90 FM radio station.
Thank you.
Friends, let me tell you about Aanchal ma'am. She is past 22 years working with public relations, various companies in corporate level also. So she will be putting more light on public relation and career in public relation faculty. So first of all, we would like to know what is public relations. So could you clarify on that?
Sure. Thank you, Tejaswini. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Acharya 90 FM, your own radio. I am Aanchal Shetty, and as Tejaswini just mentioned, I have been in public relations and corporate communications for about 22 years now, across various industries, from real estate to logistics to pharmaceuticals to entertainment and BFSI. What is public relations? This is a question that I get asked a lot because still there is not much awareness about public relations. If I have to use a Marathi or Hindi term for public relations, it is Jan Samparka. So we have Jana Samparka Karyalay in different organizations. That is what public relations is. And in a very layman's language, public relations is simply the relationship that you build to reach out to the public. Now this public can be in different forms. So for example, if it is a government organization, if it's your PMC or your Prime Minister's office or Chief Minister's office, the public is everybody, Aam Janta. But suppose if it's a corporate, it's an organization, then your public will include your stakeholders that is within your organization, your vendors, your printers, your customers, your partners. So if it is a bank, for example, a bank will have customers as their public. It will also have their employees. It will also have all the other ancillary functions who work with them. If it is pharmaceutical company, then for them doctors are their stakeholders, and through the doctors the customers, then the ones who provide the chemicals, the ones who provide the medical equipment, everyone becomes part of the public ecosystem. So for different industries, the public is very different. What is the role of a public relations function? Very simply, it is to put forward whatever the vision, mission, objectives or activities and initiatives that an organization is doing for their stakeholders, to put that out through different media. It could be print, it could be radio, television, internet. Of course, now we have social media, we have so many apps. Digital media has taken over in a huge way. So communicating what the organization is doing for the people at large or for their stakeholders or for the industry, that is what public relations is in a nutshell.
So as we are in Acharya College today, so what the students should pursue to get into public relations as a career?
For students, you guys are very lucky. You're students at a time when there is so much of information available on the internet. Back when we started, even our own parents didn't know what public relations was, and even we didn't know. So we were just trying and understanding from different people. So today, I have been told that Acharya College has a mass media faculty in itself. So you're very lucky. You can actually pursue mass media in your own college. But if you want to look outside, you have different courses, like you have Xavier's Institute of Communications. You have Advertising and Public Relations course from KC College of Management Studies, which I have done. You also have mass communication courses in TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and these are various colleges in Bombay. Of course, outside of Mumbai, in Gurgaon, you have a college called SCORE, which is the School of Communications and Reputation, which is only set up for PR and corporate communications and mass media students. Apart from this, if you have a journalistic background, if you've done journalism, even those students can apply for a job in mass media or try mass media.
Okay. And I think even I've seen PR is required in each and every field. Like if I go to a temple, there is also a PR. When I went to Siddhivinayak, they have their own PR. Like if you go to Nashik, there Shri Sai Baba Sansthan, there also they have a PR. So whenever when you go to temple or corporate, everywhere PR is required. But still, then I know a little basic of where public relations officer is required. But could you briefly say which are the sectors or which are the corporates where the PR is required or it's necessary?
So like you rightly said,
Yeah.
even if you go to a temple, you go to a hospital, you
Yeah.
go to any place, a public relations department is required. Why this department is required is because you can't have 10 different functions sending out 10 different information out to the public.
Yeah.
Your stakeholders or your customers, they'll get confused because for example, if you're a college,
Yeah.
your teachers are saying something, your principal is saying something, your admin team is saying something.
Huh.
So there is too
Yeah.
much of information and there is no clarity of the information.
Yeah.
A public relations team is helpful because it collects information from different stakeholders in the organization. It puts it together in a proper content, in a proper format that is easily understandable by people. They also check the legality of different things. So, for example, if tomorrow your college says that mass media students can get 1 crore and above salaries.
Okay.
Now that may not be true or that may be true. So the public relations team will actually verify. They will
Yeah.
go to different government agencies. They will find out from the legal team what are the labor laws on this, and they will ensure that whatever information is put out to the students, it is factual, it is correct, it is clear, crisp and concise.
Okay.
So that the end result is that whoever is your stakeholder, they are able to understand what is it that the company or the hospital or the organization is trying to tell. Likewise with temples and
Yeah.
hospitals. So that is the reason a public relations team or a corporate communications team in an organization is important. Another place where it plays a very important role is crisis management.
Okay.
There is no organization, no place of worship, no place of a hospital or anybody which is devoid of any kind of crisis. Now this is a college. Tomorrow there could be a news out in the media saying that XYZ student was bullied in this college,
Yeah.
or XYZ student probably took their life because they were teased or ragged or whatever. Now how then do you ensure that the students who are in the college, the parents of those students, the other teachers, they are all in sync with the activity, with the act, and with what steps the college is doing. So you can't avoid a crisis. It can happen. It's a human
Yeah.
error. It could be a technical fault.
anytime it can
could be
happen.
anything. Or suddenly, like if you're in a pharmaceutical organization, suddenly the government may decide to change the prices of essential medicines. Now that is not in the
in
hands
the
of the
hands,
organization. That is not even in the hands of the doctors. But the customers, the patients may not understand that. So you need to then avert the crisis. You need to ensure that you step up as an organization, you come clean, you be transparent with whatever has happened, and you also tell the stakeholders what are the actions you are actually taking to mitigate this and ensure this doesn't happen in the future. Now for all of this you need a central team who can collect information and then put it out in the right manner. So that is another important function.
Yeah, but how, as you said, in government also they have government bodies or the offices, they have the public relation officer. But how it is different from the corporate offices?
It is not different. It is
Okay.
very similar. It's just that because they are a government body, we expect maybe a lot more from them than we may expect from any other organization. But the role and responsibility of a PRO in say a BMC or say a PM's office or CM's office or Mantralaya for that matter is actually the same as a PRO who might be here. Our stakeholders are different because they are government organizations. Their stakeholders are actual citizens, tax paying, non-tax paying, middle class, upper middle class, lower middle class. Anybody and everybody who is a citizen of this city, state, domiciliary becomes part of their stakeholders. So their role becomes that much more important and responsible because they have to communicate in multiple languages, and then not all of these citizens are educated or literate, so they have to communicate in different medium, different forums and different methods to ensure that the people understand what the message is. They have to also maintain some amount of transparency in terms of what the government is doing because you have RTI nowadays, Right to Information Act, so any activist, any person can actually get up and put questions to the government. So you have to maintain a degree of transparency. So I think their role is a lot more difficult. Plus, they don't even get bouquets for what they do. They get a lot of brick bags. So if there is waterlogging in in Chembur, there's a call that goes to the PR team, a call that goes to BMC, and nobody is happy. But when there is no waterlogging, no one actually writes on Twitter and says that great work. M Ward, you did great work. Nobody does that. But so it's a thankless job at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now, ma'am, when you said the rules, the responsibilities of a PR officer. So, what are exactly the rules and regulations the PR should follow, and the responsibilities he should follow?
So, I will say more than rules and regulations, it is roles and responsibilities that a person has in PR and corporate communications. And I will also talk about the skills in the same breath.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, since it is corporate communications and public relations, your communication skill has to be very good. You might be an extrovert, you might be an introvert, but when you are in an organization or when you are in that role, you are the brand ambassador, you are the spokesperson of that organization. So you have to have clarity in your thoughts, clarity in your speech, and clarity in your action. So you need to be able to communicate what the organization is saying. Tomorrow, for example, if there is waterlogging in Chembur and you have reached out to M Ward, and if the M Ward public relations officer comes out and starts fumbling or is unable to answer your questions, you will not like it. You will definitely want someone who stands there and says that yes, there has been waterlogging, but the A, B, C, D, these are the things that we are doing. This is what you need to do, this is what we will be doing, and this is the time frame within which we are going to mitigate it. So you need to be able to stand there and be able to communicate what your organization is doing. So most important quality first is your communication skills. Second, you need to be good at writing, because content plays a very, very important role in this entire public relations communications sphere. Because your stakeholders may be subject matter experts, someone who's good in finance, someone's good in IT, someone's good in law, but they may not be able to articulate or brevity may not be their strong point. Correct. So a legal person will write a long speech with lots of legalities in it, but it may not make sense. It may not even be interesting to read. And a finance person may put a lot of data in it. An IT person may try to use less words to convey more. But as a public relations or corporate communications professional, you know your target audience, you know your stakeholders, and you need to know the language in which you need to communicate to them, whilst maintaining the language in which your organization speaks. So that is very important. So for example, if BJP, if we take about the politics, BJP has a certain tonality, a certain way in which they talk. Whereas if you look at Mahavikas Aghadi, they have a different way of talking. If you look at the Tatas, they have a different style. Their whole advertising, their whole logo, colors, their the way they write their content is completely different. But if you look at, say, Reliance, or if you look at an Apple, that's very different. So some are aggressive, some are empathetic, some are muted, some are over the top, and it completely depends on the brand. So you need to know the organization that you represent, what is the tone of voice, how the organization represents itself in the market, and you need to take those qualities of the organization along with what is the subject matter at hand, marry the two, and put out information in a manner that your stakeholders can understand. So it is a tightrope walk, but yes, this is a skill you need to have. So communication and content writing. Third thing is, you need to be very, very good with networking, because public relations and corporate communications is a lot on media relations and stakeholder management. You are not an island in an organization. For you to put out any information, you need to speak to 5 different teams within, for you to collate that information, for you to put together that information. If your networking skills are not good, there's nobody who has enough time in an organization to sit and tell you everything. And we are not friends. We might say that we are family in our office, but we are not family and friends. We are all colleagues first, and we have to remember that. So everyone is busy, everyone has their KRAs, everyone has to prove something for their appraisal. So no one's going to have time to sit and tell you certain things out of their time. your networking and stakeholder management skills will come in handy for you to be able to get information out. So for me, I used to always make sure that I take my laptop and I go and sit with my colleague and I say that you continue with your work, but let me ask you certain things and I need this right now. So you please, tell me. So this helps because A, my work is not stuck, and B, they don't feel the need to have another meeting for half an hour or 20 minutes just to be able to satisfy my curiosities.
Yeah.
Second, media relations. That's another very important part of your role. And media is English, media is Hindi, Marathi, Urdu, Punjabi, whichever state your project is in, your organization is, your media is there. And media, again, is very busy because if you see post-COVID, a lot of publications have shut down, a lot of journalists have also been laid off.
Yeah.
So actually, media houses are working with very less staff. But in less staff, they have that many pages to fill. So someone who was doing sports is probably also doing sports and entertainment or doing sports and politics. The one who was doing politics is also now maybe doing finance. So there are 2-3 functions clubbed under them. So you need to be able to build those relations with the media so that when the right time comes, if you want them to write about your organization, they should feel that they want to. And they should feel that your organization is doing the kind of work that they should give their time and that space in the newspaper too, because they are also answerable to the public at large. Why is it that you've written about an ex college? Why in Chembur is Acharya College being mentioned so many times in Times of India? Are you giving free gifts? Are you giving them some passes for IPL? No. So
some bonding should be there.
That's the whole trick of media relations. It also helps during crisis management. So if you know a journalist really well, if you know the editor well, when there is a crisis, you are able to ensure that your voice is also heard. A journalist will not kill a story just because he or she is friends with you. But what they can definitely do is, while there is one party which is the aggrieved party, they can also give you space to talk about what is it that you are doing to ensure that it doesn't happen again. So media relations, communications, content. Fourth thing is, you need to be on the ball when it comes to the digital world. So the social media and digital world has grown exponentially. Every day we have new apps, we have new websites, we have new influencers, everyone new content coming in. So it is very important to keep track of it. If you are a corporate communications professional, you will have a PR agency, you will have a social media agency, a digital marketing agency who will support you. But sometimes there are not enough budgets, and every company is cost conscious nowadays. So there may not be these third party agencies to help you, in which case you and your team only have to ensure that you go right in, roll your sleeves up, get your hands dirty, and ensure that the work is done, or whatever needs to be done is done. The last thing I feel which is important for a PR and corporate communications person is to be a good listener. Now, you might be a good listener in your organization, you will be a good listener outside of the organization, because people talk about brands all the time. Now, I may not realize it, but if I am talking to you, I may say, oh, nice lipstick, is it from Lakme? But I haven't realized, I haven't thought about the fact that, I will specifically talk about Lakme. No, I could have spoken about any other brand. But if you are a good PR person, you will know that, okay, this particular person who belongs to this industry maybe likes Lakme. So you will go back and tell your digital marketing team, who will then start putting their ad spends, or who will start targeting their activities towards me and people like me, to ensure that Lakme's sales go up or Lakme gets eyeballs. Now, if you're not alert, if you're not vigilant, it could go unnoticed. And this is not just with positive PR, it also helps a lot when someone's upset about a brand. Most times you will see banks, insurance companies, people are not happy with them at all. So for example, if you belong to an insurance company and you come across someone talking about how they found it difficult to get their insurance money or get through to people, this is the information you need to plow back to your organization, tell your customer service teams or tell the required teams, so that they take steps towards it. For that, you have to be a good listener. Reputation management is almost 80-90% listening and 10% action.
Okay.
So yeah.
Ma'am, you mentioned about influencers. So, what the PR has a role as an influencer?
Influencers have taken the entire industry by storm,
Yeah.
I would say. And today, thanks to the penetration of internet, thanks to easy availability of mobiles, anybody and everybody in tier 1, 2, 3 cities can be an influencer. And as we have seen from different YouTube shorts
Yeah.
and Instagram reels, more than urban people, it's boys and
Rural,
girls
yeah.
in tier 2, tier 3 rural cities who are actually making a lot of reels, and they are very creative.
Yeah.
They have time, or even if they don't have time, they may not have space, they make best use of whatever resources
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have,
yeah.
and they come up with very good content. As a PR person or as a brand manager, it is very, very important for you to identify the right influencer and liaise with them. Now, if you see the ASCII, which is the Advertising Society of India, they actually now have put out very strict guidelines about how you can engage with an influencer, or how an influencer can engage with a brand.
Brand,
So
yeah.
now they have to necessarily mention that this is a paid post, or it is a paid promotion, which earlier used to not happen, which I think is good, because the audience is not a fool, and audience should also not be kept in the dark. So if it is a paid promotion today, if I am talking about an X brand because that brand has paid me, then it is my duty to tell the audience, and it is the audience's right to know that this is a paid promotion, because I may not be using this brand in my personal life. I'm
Yeah.
probably only talking about it. So it is very important to identify the right kind of influencer. Just because a person is a celebrity may not be the right fit for your brand. So for example, I believe that there is Kusha Kapila and her friend. They're the two girls who do a lot of these Delhi socialite short videos. And recently I saw one of them being used in a Colgate ad.
Okay.
Now I thought it was a very, very good fit, because she has very uneven teeth. And they have used her in the ad to say कि जब कोई मेरे दांतों के बारे में बोलता है, I smile out loud. अभी here, if you would have maybe used a Deepika or a Kareena
Yeah.
or somebody else, the fit wouldn't have been right. But
Right.
the fact that you used an influencer to talk about a shortcoming in her and to project it in a positive way, I
Yeah.
thought it was a very good fit for the brand. Now she will go back and write about it on Twitter. She'll probably share it on Instagram. All of this becomes your organic reach, your organic
Yeah.
post. Of course, your marketing team will do a lot of paid promotions, but as a PR team, you can also try and ensure that there's a lot of organic reach through whatever activities you're marketing doing, which is why it is very important for a PR and corporate communications team to work very closely with the marketing and brand teams, because they are the ones who have the budgets and they are the ones who do a lot of things. But as a PR team, it is very easy for you to leverage that, piggyback on that, and use it to generate a lot of goodwill for your brand. One thing that I would like to clarify to a lot of people, difference between advertising and public relations. Advertising, as we all see on TV, we all know it is paid. So
Yeah.
celebrities are paid, whatever is happening, that's a paid
Yeah.
thing. A public relations effort, on the other side, is more in terms of what a journalist writes or what an influencer writes. And we still believe that if a journalist has written something in a newspaper, there is a lot more credibility to
Yeah.
it, because they would have done their research, they would have done their due diligence, and it gets passed through so many departments, and
Yeah.
then it
There's a
gets
research
put
behind
out
that,
in the
yeah.
paper. Whereas in an advertising, anybody can pay money and get an ad done. So the credibility that PR enjoys is a lot more than what marketing enjoys. But of course, you can't have one without the other, because PR activities cannot give you lead generation or cannot give you sales. They can give you a whole lot of brand reputation. They can actually put out your key messages. But your sales will largely be driven by your marketing and brand activities. You need your brand activities to put things out in a glamorous manner on TV or different mediums, but you also need PR to take the same thing and give credibility to it through your PR articles, media articles, and influencer articles.
Yeah. Ma'am, since you have also worked for entertainment industry, I have a curiosity regarding how the work of a public relation officer for a celebrity, how the PR works for a celebrity actually.
It's a very, very difficult job.
Yeah.
Because a
You
PR
have to
person.
keep the celebrity
Yes.
in limelight throughout.
Yes. You know, earlier days, when you didn't have social media, it was a lot more easier because it was very controlled. So
Yeah.
there were these photographers, the paparazzi. You would, maybe inform them. You would inform a few of them that XYZ is going to some airport or some function. They would come and click and go. But today, because every mobile has a camera, there is no way to control who is able to send out what content.
Okay.
Plus, a lot of the times the celebrity themselves, they tend to take photographs or videos and post it on media. A PR person for a celebrity, he or she has a very, very responsible role because they have to take care of the person's image at all times. So today, if say Deepika Padukone or Kareena
Madhuri
Kapoor
Dixit,
or
yeah.
Madhuri Dixit have a particular image, you have to ensure that that image is maintained.
Yeah.
Or else, if you want to change that image, then you have to gradually work towards shifting that image, and that cannot be an overnight thing because your audiences will not accept it.
Yeah.
So I'll give a very good an example of a very good transition of image. Sunil Shetty, was known for his muscle beefy action movies. Then he went into some romantic movies and he went to comedy movies. And today, if you see, he has actually come out on LinkedIn as a sort of a influencer. But on LinkedIn, whenever he puts out his post, these are very heartfelt posts. Posts about what he has gone through in his journey, posts about advice that he gives to his children, posts about how he maintains his fitness. Now he is gradually wanting to change his image from whatever he was as a hero to maybe someone who's now a mentor, maybe a life coach, an entrepreneur. And he's done this very gradually. Suppose if he would have directly jumped into giving career advices and life advices, people wouldn't have liked it because in their mind Sunil Shetty is of Hera Fairy fame, and he's giving out life advices doesn't merge with his image. So you have to be very gradual about how you go through. So likewise with say Madhuri Dixit, she was the top reigning actress. She gave it all up. She got married. She went abroad, and she had this period of hiatus. And now she has come back, and she's come back with certain projects like Fame Game and Majama. So you have to build her profile all over again because now she's no longer the bombshell Madhuri that she was. But now she's probably more of a seasoned actress, a mature actress who's now picking her projects and coming up with meteor roles. So you need to gradually change the image. So I think a PR person for a celebrity, they have to have a lot of, also because a lot of celebrities do end up getting murked up in controversies. So if you see Sushant Singh Rajput for that matter, or if you see any other celebrity drinking and driving, or any other kind of, maybe even walking out of a movie, even that can spoil somebody's reputation. So a lot of the times a PR person has to constantly be in touch with media, be in touch with the right kind of audience, be in touch with the right kind of influencers to ensure that the image is not tarnished. And if it does get tarnished, then there is that much more work that the celebrity and the person has to do to build it back. And it cannot be a one person's job. But yes, it is a 24/7 job. A PR person's job is 24/7.
Yeah. Thank you again, Aanchal ma'am, for joining us on Acharya 90 FM and giving deep knowledge about public relations and the duty of public relation officer. Thank you for joining.
Most welcome, Tejaswini. Thank you, everyone.
So friends, today we had discussion on public relations with Aanchal Shetty ma'am. We will be meeting up with the next guest in our next guest interview. Till then, myself Tejaswini taking your leave. Thank you for today. Keep listening Acharya 90 FM, your own radio. Thank you.
Acharya